Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're in kind of my neck of the woods. We're in the Upper Bucks, Richland Township area. We're with JPVideos. Brought him up here, brought him here because down here for you, yeah. Brought him here because there's a former rail line that's now a rail trail that I've been wanting to show him for quite a while now because of some of the treasures that you get to see along the trail. Already behind me you can see there's some rail cars. This is now basically a storage line from downtown Quakertown by the train station up to California Road, which is over here, which is where the line ends. But back in the 80s, 90s, I think it was the 90s or early 2000s, they pulled the track out from California Road up. It was former Reading line. Obviously Conrail was on here. This was the line that I'm familiar with growing up as a kid, where I saw the Conrail locomotives. And cue the scooter shutting off. And cue the scooter shutting off. We're on the scooters today.
Squirrel!
So yeah, this is the line that I'm familiar with seeing the Conrail blue. This line actually runs down from here down to Philadelphia. It intersects, I'm not exactly sure, I'd have to look at it on maps again to see where, but it's probably in the lower Montgomery County area, like somewhere around in Glenside down that way, where this meets up with what is now the SEPTA lines down there. And there is, I believe, NS lines down there as well. NS does not service this line. This line is East Penn Railroad, which also is over in Pennsburg that we showed you in the past in live stream videos, which is the Perkiomen line, which runs up to Emmaus. But then on this side, what is now gone, used to run right into Bethlehem Steel. You can still see the alignment. Right now, it's rail trail from here all the way up into Hellertown, and then it ends in Hellertown, and then you can see the alignment of where it ran underneath the 78 past the old roundhouse, which is still part of that building is in existence, but somebody's business, and then the stone bridge where it crossed over and then went into the rail yard at Bethlehem Steel, which is now Steel Stacks and whatever casino it is now. But this section here is very interesting because there's still telegraph poles with insulators on them. There's a signal switch, or I'm sorry, a signal light that I wanted to show him. And depending on how far we can actually go with the range, because I haven't been beyond Coopersburg yet. It goes up through Coopersburg along 309, and then it turns into the Saucon Rail trail, which that portion goes up into Hellertown. This portion that we're at now, the trail right here was put in by Richland Township to connect to the rail line, and this is part of Veterans Park, which is off of Pumping Station Road and California Road. Pretty easy to find. There's a lot of ball fields here, where a lot of you see a lot of ball games throughout the summertime of different tournaments and things going on here. So it's pretty busy place. Plus then they do the movie night in the park June, July, and August, and then they have community day here for the township, and then a bunch of other cool stuff. But we're not worried about that. We're worried about the rail trail. So let's stop blabbing and get on with this. These poor guys over here waiting, like, can we go see the insulator trees already? If you look to your left, you'll see the rails, and the ones they pulled, they just left them. Actually, I'm sorry, no, the rails are still under the road. They paved right over them. Uh-oh. You better go home. Before you get hit. There you go. And then there's your first evidence.
We'll cross and stop while we're doing this.
Yeah, you can actually hit that button, it'll turn the lights on and people will stop.
So those rails came right here then, right?
Yep, this is the rail line right here. All right, so we've continued on to where the original alignment was. You can kind of see Jay's over here checking out the, I just found the old signal, crossing light. There's a pole right there where the crossing light would have been, which then would have been part of the battery box here for that. And then also the first telegraph pole should be right here too. I know there's one right there you can make out right there. And then you can see the alignment where I forgot that they actually paved right over the rails, so you can still see the rails underneath the asphalt right here. You can see that one right there, and then that one right there. So that would have lined up with where I'm at right now. And this was, if I remember correctly, twin line. There were two lines here. And then that's the direction we're going to be heading. Okay, so we've ridden on a little more, and there's, you know, the crossing where we were just at. And obviously there's a lot of rail remnants to see. We have a concrete post. Okay, so yeah, here's what would have been a pole of some sort going up to whatever it was. It could have been, I'm assuming, probably a signal, which there is still one intact up further, which we will get to. So we'll take a look at that base and see if it matches up to this one. But this one's pretty close to the crossing over here. So I'll look at old aerial photographs too. I know this is double line, but I don't know when it went back to single line. May have actually been right here. So, but it's still kind of wide enough. As we continue on, you'll see. And then there will be more telegraph poles as we go. Plus you got the rock cutouts, like right there, where they dug out for the rail line to go through. And you can definitely tell that's wide enough for two lines. All right, so we've come across the first overpass with railings, which Jay just mentions in his video that he learned from me, which I learned from Nick's Crossing, the difference between this upright of the railing with the curvature here on this side. This was the Reading design, and then the Pennsylvania, which almost looks identical other than the fact that it would still be straight on both sides. That's how you can determine the difference between PRR and Reading, which is a fun fact. And we did see that the bridge is stamped with the Reading diamond from 1916. And then continuing on, you got, there's an insulator pole, there's an insulator pole, and there's another one right there. So there's a lot of telegraph poles, not insulator poles, sorry. And then just up ahead is the signal that I wanted to show Jay. You can see over on this side, the railing, the top railing is actually pulled out or broken, partially missing. But that goes under, or that was put in for this stream to be able to run underneath of it. You can kind of already make out, if you look straight up, you see all the trees are leaning this way, signal pole's leaning that way. So I don't know if you can make it out on the screen or not, but we're gonna go right up to that. And just from where I'm standing here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 telegraph poles that I can see just in sight, just beyond this point. Here we have, above my shadow,
Hi, Shadow.
One of the signal lights still intact here. It's slightly bent, and the light housing itself is turned towards Jay, which would actually be facing that direction instead. And you can make out what it says on it, which is General Railway Signal Company, Rochester, New York, made in the USA, and then it's got a number on it. It's kind of hard. It might be 28787-8X. Still got the ladder on it. It is kind of leaning. Like I said before, it has the lean to it. So it somehow got bent. Something pushed it over. Not sure what or how, but maybe it happened when they were putting the rail trail in. And again, you can see we're going to see a lot of telegraph poles through here. We thought Jay actually spotted that and thought it might have been a mile marker, but it's actually, it might be a railroad tie. It's just a piece of wood that the tree is actually growing around, so it's been leaning up against that for quite some time. Not sure where this little walking path goes, but I'm just going to come up here to this and that's it. But yeah, that looks like a railroad tie. Like it had a tie plate on it right there. There is a bunch of them strewn about through here, so there are still some remnants of rail ties. If you can see it right here, it's kind of hard to see, but that would be the side where the lights would have been. Almost looks like a face because you got the two up top and one on the bottom. So I'll get a picture of it and throw the picture up so you can see what I'm showing you. All right, so this is a new one. This was not here. This has just been recently put in. You can tell it's fairly new. But this has some history of the town of Shelley, which is where we're at right now. This is again in Richland Township. We got some pictures here. This is the old post office, which still stands today, which is right there, and is now converted apartments. And then here we have the old Shelley station, which is basically where we're standing right now. Would have been right in this area right here, because I was able to confirm that. If you look at this roof line on this house right here, and this house with the double windows up here in this dormer area, there's the one with the double windows, and there's the other one. So, and then this building here would be right there. You kind of make it out right there, and then that building would have been back there, which is no longer there, which I'm assuming is probably, there was a lot of cigar factories in this area. It could have been a cigar factory at one time. There is another placard over there. What's that? Another battery box? Okay. And then you do have more telegraph here and there going across, and then it was also a junction for the actual power lines in town here. So this is a very small town. I mean, it's literally, you sneeze, you're through it. And the rail line came through here, so pretty cool. That was the direction we came from. We're continuing on this direction. There is another bridge up here that we're going to go check out. All right, so we just crossed over. This is Cherry Road. Came over here, and there's another sign here, another placard that I was thinking it was the same thing, but it pretty much confirmed my suspicion. So that building that was back here was a cigar factory. The area had a lot of cigar manufacturing. Not sure why, but I mean, back in those times, there were quite a few cigar factories in the area between Quakertown, Trumbarsville, Milford Square, and Shelley, and there's just, I guess a lot of people smoked cigars back then. So this I didn't know about. This is Stauffer's Tourist Cabins, which was actually right here on 309, because 309 is right down here. It runs this way. We're pretty much running parallel to it on the rail line here. And then there's also another battery box here from the crossing. So I do remember growing up as a kid, I do remember the tracks still going across this. Actually, funny story, a friend of mine from high school, his first car, we came flying down this road, and he didn't realize how fast he was going, and he launched himself over these train tracks in a 78 Dodge Colt. Actually, it was right there, because I remember he had the window speakers in the back window dash, and one of them flew out and hit his cousin in the back from when we landed. So good memories of growing up in the area. Riding in style right here.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh, you got cargo now.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was just dragging around because I want to.
I figured you had something going on. I just wasn't sure. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, why not? Go
Yeah,
there.
there you go.
What's the range you got on that?
50 miles
50?
with just this.
Just that, without the trailer.
Got someone coming.
Oop. Oh, you went to Harbor Freight too, huh? Nice.
Yeah, I go all the way down to the farmer's market.
What's the speed limit through here?
Go around and go back.
Oh, nice. So what do you live up here then?
Here,
And
Center Valley. Maybe.
okay.
Yeah, I'm moving out to Emmaus next week.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be a little longer of a ride then to get to Quakertown.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't get over the mountain one day. I think it'll kill my battery.
Yeah, probably.
You have to start pushing like the Flintstones.
Oh, yeah, try to huh?
No, that's a cool setup though. You're giving us ideas.
Yeah, I customized it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I got e-bikes at home. He's getting one too, and I'm thinking of like, it'd be nice to attach a trailer to it for anything, you know?
Yeah, where you going?
Yeah.
I'm going grocery shopping. I'll just take this and go.
Yeah.
As long as it's a nice day, yeah.
You don't have to worry about filling up the gas station either, you know?
That's right.
Well, the battery's good. I'm good.
Yep.
Yep.
It's the way to go these days.
Yeah. Hey, you guys be good. See ya.
Yeah, you take care.
It's got the forward friggin' pegs and everything.
Okay, so we made a little pit stop here. We are in Coopersburg, which we're probably in the area of where the train station was, which would have been probably one of these buildings, but we also have what looks like could have been a freight station right here. What it actually is now, not sure. I mean, I don't know who owns it or whatever, but it definitely has a look of, you got like wooden doors on sliding doors, so it looks like there could have been a line coming in right here where this roof is to be able to load and unload freight in and out of those doors right there. So box cars and whatnot could have pulled up next to the building there and been able to load and offload right off of there. So
If you look at that covering, it's open. You can actually see down inside.
oh, is it like a pit?
Yep.
Well, looking at those doors, that would,
There's sliding barn doors. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they altered it or something.
it probably had a spur coming in. There's some asphalt right here. So apparently you can look down in and there's a pit like underneath that roof there. So, oh, there's a hole right there. You can probably look in right there. Oh yeah, so, oh, it's coal chutes. So I think this was a coal yard. So they would have delivered coal here. Coal chutes.
Rails here.
Coal chutes.
Yeah. That's right. It's on pole. How neat is that?
So he's got, he found some rail right there.
See the pump stop right here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And yeah, the loaded coal cars will come around top of here and back where he showed.
Huh.
Dump down into the basement. I don't know if it's an active building or not, so I'm not going to go any further to the front to document this. This is really neat though. You can see how the rails just kind of are bent and locked up in place here. Big wooden blocks with a plate.
So if you want to get a closer look as to what he's looking at, go over and check out his video. All right, so we made it out just beyond Coopersburg, or like I like to call it, Cooper-Tucky. Local joke. We stopped at the 80s or 90s Burger King there that was like ghost town. Had some food. So that was interesting. Really cool pastel colors going on there. Like totally.
Got the Easter vibe going.
Yes, totally Easter, which is getting close anyway, so it worked out pretty good. We're now at, this is Lutron, I think, is what this business is called. The rail trail goes right through it, so the rail line went right through it. We're going to turn around and head back from here because we're both down to about 59% on our batteries, and we got to go uphill now to get back. So we do plan on coming back in the future with e-bikes and following the trail all the way up to Bethlehem Steel, and like Jay mentioned in his outro too, we'll probably stagger one vehicle up there and one vehicle, you know, we'll drop one vehicle up there so that way we have a way to get back. and then see what lies ahead as far as the old rail line and the history along, all the history along this route of what used to be a rail line. So it's pretty cool that we're actually here. I've been wanting to get Jay down here to do this. We're, you know, back before we even got the scooters, I had mentioned this to him about just riding our mountain bikes along here and seeing what was along here, because I had seen the parts that we were at up in the Richland Township area where I came to the boardwalk at least, and I had never been beyond the boardwalk yet. So today's the first day past that and coming through Coopersburg. So that was a nice little treat, coming through the rock cut there and seeing the placard with the information about the dinosaur fossil print and stuff like that. So it's a shame it's not still there. Unfortunately, somebody had to take it, but you know how it goes. So, but we're gonna spin around and head back, and I'll probably do my outro there. If we find anything else interesting on the way back, I'll bring you guys in. Okay, so we made it back to the parking lot where we parked at in Veterans Park, and as you can see, it's a ghost town. It's Quaker town. It's pretty much a ghost town. But no, just kidding. Anyway, so Jay got to experience his first time almost killing the scooter completely. Barely made it, but we made it. What do you got left on your battery?
A blinking bar.
A blinking bar. That's all he's got left. I still got 2 bars. So I either, yeah, for a point there, it seemed like I couldn't keep up with him. He just like took off on me, and I was like, oh, I must be fatter than you now. And then all of a sudden, I just right past him. But he held up pretty good. There was a couple times I was like trying to help him along, just putting my hand on his back and pushing him a little bit, but you know, having some fun like we always do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like we both said in both of our videos, we do plan on bringing e-bikes up here and continuing on further on the trail all the way up to Bethlehem. So hopefully you guys will join us for that little adventure in the video in 2032 when I finally put it out. So make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and thank you very much for watching. I also want to thank JP for coming down and also checking this out, because I've been wanting to show him this for quite a few years now.
You're welcome.
So he's off hiding in the woods over there, you know, he's doing his thing. So had a good time. With the sun going down, it did get a little chilly, so good timing that we got back when we did, because now it's going to get cold again. It's going to be bitter cold. We lucked out today. It was supposed to get up to like 52. Of course, it peaked at like 50 degrees at 4 o'clock and then started going back down again. So they're calling for snow on Monday or something, wintry mix. Yay, fun. Gotta love Pennsylvania weather. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thumbs up, subscribe if you're new and would like to see more. Subscribe. It costs nothing. It's a simple push a button, ring a bell, ding ding. Yes, I'm a weirdo. If you subscribe and come hang out with me more, you'll find that out. Okay, so we crossed over, I guess, what is it? I forget what road. Shelley Road, I think that, no. I'm having a brain fart. What road is this?